Hey everybody, hope you're all having a great day out there. I'm out here in the woods again finally, and I got the 562 here and the 462 here with me, and I got a 32-inch bar on this 562. I want to see how it does, because if you guys been watching my videos, I really like this saw, and I feel with a 28-inch bar it really pulls the 28 real nice. So I'm just curious to see how it will react with the 32-inch bar. And then for the 462 here, I've done it a few times, but I have the chain that's on it right now on that 462. It's at the end of its life, and I did a square hand file on it, so we're gonna see how that does today. It's not a race by no means, but I just want to see how the saws perform in the wood today. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'm going to bring you guys up on a close-up look here to show you what the chain looks like. pulling that 32-inch bar. That blows my mind. As you can tell, I'm not putting much force into it because if I do, it bogs out. But man, I'm just blown away by that. That's crazy. can see that that 562 is pulling that 32-inch bar pretty darn good. I'm pretty impressed. That is a full house chain, hand filed 3/8 058, but I think it would do just a little bit better with probably a muffler mod on it, which most of my saws have that. But I think that would wake up that 562 a little bit more to not bog out in the cut a little bit. I found it worked best not putting too much weight on it, and it would just hold its own and chew through the wood really good. But now it's time to grab that 462 here now. I'm going to show you the square hand file that I was talking about, and we're going to buck the rest of this log and see how that 462 does. I'm gonna do an M-tronic reset on it. It's being a little bit sputtery for me. See if it clears up a bit. So it's still running not great. You can tell it's still sputtering there. And I don't want to keep running it like that. It's just a pain. Just going to damage your saw more. But I probably should have done the M-tronic reset before I started. I don't know. I find, you know, when the 462 sits for a little bit, it doesn't run the greatest. So I'm going to start getting into the habit of just doing an M-tronic reset before I use it. See if that works better than, you know, it's sitting for a while like it has now and taking it out and putting it to work. But I'm going to grab that 562 here again and continue bucking because it was doing great with that 32. So, but with that hand file, it's a square file on this 462. I'm quite impressed. As you can tell, it's, you know, chewing through it pretty good for not running the greatest, but definitely going to have to keep practicing that square hand file. By no means are my angles perfect. They're probably all over the map, but something new to learn and get better at. First load of wood in the new truck. It's a good feeling. Well, folks, that's it for another one. Officially got the truck christened. First load of firewood in the new truck. Feels good. A little bit of a different video, I guess you could say, for just being a buck off of just, you know, bucking firewood. It's not for everybody by no means, but I wanted to try out that 32-inch bar on that 562, and it surprised me. I think it would perform a little bit better with a muffler mod. Got my eye on one. I'm just waiting for it to be available so I can order it. Bit of a shame that the 462 wasn't up to snuff there. I don't know with these M-tronic, you know, Stihl saws, if they sit for a while, if it's best bet to, you know, do a M-tronic reset or recalibrate them before you put them to work. If you know any of that information, please share it with me. I'd like to know. But until next time, we'll catch you on the next one.